Super Vegito, Ultra Instinct Sign Gohan, Super Blue Kefla, Golden Frieza, and Super Saiyan Blue Kakarot team up for the Tournament of Power. But the big shots they must face is Super Jiren, who can one-shot the God of Destruction of Universe 12. The match has barely begun when Jiren goes straight for Universe 7, and Gohan steps in front of everyone, telling Piccolo to take everyone else and go after Toppo, which sends Piccolo into a cold sweat panic shouting at Vegito to let Vegito fight instead since Gohan is no match for him. But Gohan stubbornly refuses to listen. So Vegito grips his son's shoulder and tells him to listen to Piccolo and step back, letting his old man handle it. At which point Gohan's icy blue Super Saiyan Blue aura erupts as he transforms anyway, insisting that the brutal training he's endured was so that he wouldn't back down before a strong enemy, apologizing to Piccolo that his old master didn't teach him for nothing and it won't be so easy for Jiren to kill him, then grinning at Vegito that today his father will let him truly test his limits. And Vegito, torn between fatherly pride and a warrior's calculation, says nothing and strides off toward Jiren himself, declaring he'll throw everything he's got at him, though Jiren barely reacts, dismissing him with message read, no reply. And when Gohan mocks him for sending Toppo and the others away to play lone wolf, Jiren flatly replies that they wouldn't affect the outcome anyway since dealing with Gohan takes only a second. The next moment Gohan powers up into Ultra Instinct Sign, causing Beerus's ears to twitch and Whis to smile knowingly that Beerus is different from the other battle-crazed pure-blooded Saiyans, and Gohan, feeling perfectly at home in this form, strikes a loose but flawless pose before flash stepping in with a world-ending punch that Jiren blocks with a single finger, stunning Piccolo, and though Gohan follows up with a spinning axe kick to Jiren's neck that lands with a thunderous boom, Jiren doesn't even flinch, and then Jiren's eyes flash as a storm of invisible punches tears into Gohan with law-shattering force, prompting Universe 1's God of Destruction, Ewan to gasp that the attack is fiercer than a God of Destruction's, and Beerus to stamp furiously that he told Gohan to team up instead of going solo, while Gohan barely survives the barrage by force flipping to absorb the blow before crashing to the ground, only to sense Jiren has teleported behind him and pinned him down with a foot on his spine, declaring him already defeated and charging a devastating red energy blast as Piccolo screams for Gohan to run, until at the last second a hand shoots out and grips Jiren's wrist. It's Vegito, causing Whis' rival announcer type to leap up in shock as the rest of his team lies defeated, and the sheer pressure of the two titans standoff cracks the ground and sends debris flying as Gohan, watching from below, bitterly realizes the gulf between solo fighting and a fused warrior is enormous and he hasn't even reached the threshold to challenge Jiren, while Caulifla crawls from the rubble starry-eyed to watch the fight. And Jiren, a man of few words, unleashes an invisible blast of pure force at Vegito, who plants his stance and transforms into Blue Evolution, freezing the entire arena mid-motion in an instant. Hits time skip technique, which Vegito effortlessly mimics, before flash stepping into Jiren's face and slamming a punch into his stoic expression. A strike so terrifying it only grazes Jiren's skin without moving him an inch, leaving Gohan awestruck that this is a hit even Beerus wouldn't dare take head-on. And Vegito, casually dusting off imaginary dirt from his chest, taunts Jiren that he's slightly tougher than expected, prompting Jiren's eyes to go cold as he charges a world-ending punch of his own and hurls it at Vegito, who, equally reckless, takes the hit head-on without flinching, the resulting explosion tearing apart most of the arena and sending a shockwave that instantly wipes out the weaker fighters lingering at the edges, while Gohan, transforming further into Super Saiyan, digs deep trenches into the ground, just barely bracing against the blast. And when the dust clears, Vegito stands completely unharmed, shocking the announcer into a broken screech, as Vegito mockingly asks if that's all the power the so-called monster has got, to which Jiren coldly replies that he knows Vegito instantly threw up a defensive barrier the moment he spoke tough, and that he'd been holding all the damage back in his palm the whole time. Before a burst of violent purple-black energy gathers into a devastating point-blank orb in his hand as he coldly announces Vegito's doom and unleashes a blinding close-range explosion across the entire arena, the shockwave hurling the front-row spectator Caulifla flying for miles, while the clownish announcer, delighted by the spectacle, cackles wildly from the stands,